Hey guys, Gareth Jones here. As you can see, I'm sitting in my car in a parking lot, which is pretty cool. The reason why I'm here doing this is because I'm waiting for a seminar. I'm doing a Sayoc Kali knife seminar, a self-defense seminar, and I'm doing it with Stephen Grosh, I'm doing it with Bravo, and I'm doing it with some friends of ours. And it's totally new to me, but it's super cool. It's a really cool Filipino martial art, and this is the first time I've done a martial arts class in many, many years. Any kind of physical exercise class, and the reason why I wanted to make a video about it was because Bravo and I were talking yesterday about the student's mindset. So he brought me up to speed with a few things before I take the class, so I don't look like a total jabroni, as he says. And and for that I'm very appreciative. But I was also realizing that I was in the student's mindset, and we talked a lot about. The guys that really, are very alpha and they want to show off how much they know and they don't want to learn anything, because if you learn something, that means you didn't know it in the first place. And how important this is to register, like in everything that you do and everything that you undertake. I believe the Buddhists call this beginner's mindset, which is great. Being open to new opportunities and being open to learning things, and how important that is. And we were talking about it, about how important just our success was based on our ability to open up and say, hey, we don't know as much as we could, and we can always learn. So we're open to new things, and we're open to trying out new possibilities. And that's we credit quite a bit of our success to that, because we see a lot of the guys, especially, I've had guys that I've worked with that have come from other schools of thought, especially in PYY's other schools or other trainers, and they've come to me and said, oh, well, what you're teaching is wrong because of XYZ. Especially when we have conflicting ideas, or ideas that seem to conflict, because a lot of the stuff or everything that's successful comes from the same idea, especially with women. And just conversation and building physical relationships in general. So one of the things that we always talk about is the ability to learn, the ability to open up yourself and throw away your ego and say, hey, I might be able to take something from this. You can always learn something from something else. And so I thought I'd make a video because I'm about to go into the seminar, and I'm actually really quite nervous. I'm nervous for a lot of reasons. Number one, I don't know. I'm starting as a dead beginner, right? I looked at some videos on YouTube, but we all know how that goes. Bravo did a little bit of catching me up to speed, but I still think there's going to be guys here that have been doing this for many, many years, and so it's a very, very interesting mindset for me to be able to be kind of embarrassed, kind of nervous, kind of humble, but I'm still really excited because I know that, I can yes sir and no sir my way into a better understanding, into a new level of learning. And when I leave here, I won't be a beginner anymore. And really, that's something that's very, very important, that a lot of people need to remember and understand, that you are a beginner until you try things, and you try things, and now you're in process of learning, and you leave not knowing anything. You leave the concept of not knowing anything aside, because now you're being educated, and it's, in a sense, you are still a beginner, of course, but you are an enthusiastic amateur, where you're making moves and you're going forward, and you're like we always say, you're in the top 2% of the population. A lot of us want to try something new, want to try something different, and get discouraged or embarrassed about the idea of being new, of being a beginner, of maybe making a fool of themselves. Like at this place, Ground Dwellers, here in Houston, Texas, it's a BJJ place, it's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place, and I've never done any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's going to be guys there that are black belts in various martial arts, and that are doing this to supplement their skill, and I'm coming in like, I went to music school, I'm a dating coach, I hope that doesn't come up. But at the same time, I also know that with honesty and with the adventurous attitude and with a respectful attitude and the ability to understand that my performance in here does not affect, my skills with women or my lifestyle or the things that I'm going after, and my ability to separate myself from that embarrassment or those nerves is going to help me not only learn quicker and learn more effectively, but also to gain friends in that community, and also it's going to reinforce the things that I do. You know, when we talk about having a cool lifestyle, when we talk about doing exciting things, this is a perfect example. And if I was to go in and say, oh, well, I'm too good for this, or I don't want to do this because I don't want to be embarrassed or make a fool of myself. I know I'm going to make a fool of myself in there. It's going to get in the way of everything that I do, especially when it comes to, like, you know, women and building friends and building social relationships. And I mean, even just on the basic transition to PUA stuff. I mean, we know students that don't want to be embarrassed, that work hard not to be embarrassed, and oftentimes they're the ones that end up getting the most embarrassed. So I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna put myself out, and I'm gonna see what happens. I may make some faux pas, I may embarrass people. I'm gonna try to be respectful. I'm gonna try not to embarrass anybody else. Or hurt anybody, of course. I don't think that's a possibility. Or get hurt. I'm going to try to not make any mistakes that get me hurt. But I'm going to use my common sense. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to go in there with an open mind and a beginner's mindset. And I'm going to come out the other side with a lot more knowledge and maybe a little shaken up. But I know I'm going to feel proud about it. Just like we always say, you know, as a PUA coach, I know that you're going to hate your first set of night. But I know that once I can push you into 3, once you get done with your 3 sets, you're going to feel a million times better. And I think everybody that has approached on their own or with a coach knows that as well. So here's my 3 approaches for the day. Thanks. Good luck.
Thanks for watching. For more information, head on over to artoftheplayboy.com, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.